Hold on, back on my bullshit. These niggas been hitting, get hit with a full clip. They say they don't like me, they want me to hit them with.
The Yankees end up winning the series against Minnesota and looked really good in the process. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street, back with another video. And the Minnesota Twins always seem like they give us some good wins. They're a good team. They're a good team, but it just always seems like we have the edge. It always seems like we have their number. And that's exactly what this was in this series, as the Yankees win 3 out of 4. First game, we got production from guys like Marwin Gonzalez. We had production from all over the place. Aaron Judge goes deep again. It was a very productive day. Yankees win the game. One consistent out of the series was how consistent the pitching was. The pitching was really good during the series, and we'll get to the best pitching performance of them all in a couple seconds. But game 2, I was at the doubleheader, and I was at the first game. So I went to the first 3 games of the series. In game 2, look, Domingo Germán, he looked okay. Wasn't his best showing, but really it was a lot of the same from this team. Germán gives us 6 innings of 3-run ball, 6 strikeouts. Marinaccio, Wandy, Loizica, Holmes, Marinaccio, and Weissert come in. They don't give up a run. This game goes into the 12th. And, man, why does Ronald Guzman hate me? Now, I'll give you some backstory here. So, I am a Make-A-Wish kid. I had a Make-A-Wish to meet the Yankees, and I met them on August 8th, 2018. That is the same day where Ronald Guzman decided to have a 3-home run day for the Texas Rangers as they blew us out of the water. And now that he's a member of the Yankees, I was looking at this like, hey, maybe he can just he can at least repay me for that game that he had. And he strikes out 4 times and then hits into a double play with the bases loaded. Almost costs us the game. Thank God for Oswaldo in the outfield and some terrible third base coaching to send the guy who tripped going around third base to go home. I just think Ronald Guzman fucking hates me. Like, he knows when I'm at the games, and he knows if he's on the Yankees, he can't play good. If he's not on the Yankees, he has to shine. And so, yeah, Ronald Guzman fucking hates me. But game 2 ends. The young guys step up. Oswald Peraza has a 3-hit game. He showed why he's one of the top prospects in our system. And really what that doubleheader showed me, is the Yankees have to make a decision come the offseason on who they're keeping, Volpe or Peraza. Because Peraza looks like he is primed and ready to make a major league run. And Volpe right now is our number 1 prospect. And so you look at this and you're saying, they're at the same position. We already know what happens when you try and flip positions around. They tried to keep Gleyber Torres at short. He's a real second baseman. Now he looks really good at second base, but at short, he sucked. IKF, third baseman, primary, goes to short, and this year doesn't have a good year in the field And during this doubleheader, IKF is back on third, and he looks like a new person. The range was giving IKF a lot of issues at short that at third he doesn't need. He won a Gold Glove at third base. That's one of the reasons why the Yankees thought, okay, he could just transition to short. Well, now we know that doesn't work. So back to what I was saying. The Yankees have to make a decision. Do they like what Peraza is giving them enough to make him the starting shortstop next year? Or is Volpe that good a talent to where they need him up in the majors by next year? And whatever decision that is, the other guy gotta go. You gotta get as much value as you can for these guys who are at the same position. If you like what Peraza is giving you and you think, okay, we'll give him the reins to short, Volpe has exorbitant value. You can get another rising star for Volpe. We can fix some positional needs. We could get more relievers. We could get a starter. We could do what we want if we trade either Volpe or Peraza. But the Yankees have to make a decision there. Because unless one of them is going to play third, which, look, we see what happens when you flip positions. I just explained that. Unless you are so certain that one of them can play third, and you are so certain that the other is great at short, you got to trade both. You got to trade one of them. And then you keep the other to play short. Get as much value as you can for these players because one of them may not be producing for you. So, out of the doubleheader, that's one of the things I got with Oswald Peraza's performance. He played really well. The Yankees come up big in game one with the Cabrera, with the Cabrera walk-off. And then in game two, let's talk about it. Garrett Cole has probably one of his best starts to date. The only player he had a problem with was Carlos Correa, who hit the home run and the double. But other than that, it was very spot hits, and that's it. Garrett Cole goes 6 2/3. He gets 14 strikeouts. I am pretty sure it was 14 strikeouts. Only gave up about 3 hits. And again, only the 1 run. This was one of his best starts to date. And we also get production, huge production from IKF, who hits a grand slam in a situation where we had no runs. We were down 1-0. And IKF just said, nope, you walked. So they got a double. They walk Judge. Then they walked Torres. And that brought up IKF because IKF was the 4-hitter, I think. Or no, he wasn't the 4-hitter for this game, actually. He was a little later on in the lineup. He was the 4-hitter last night. But, so he comes up with the bases loaded and hits a rope off the first pitch into left field. Absolutely electric. I have not seen IKF swing the bat this good all year. And a lot of it, I think, is him not having the pressure of playing short. That's a big key here. Gleyber Torres last year didn't have a good year all year because he had the pressure of playing short. He moved over to second base and he started off this year really good. And maybe he's picking it up now because he had a couple good games in this series. So, and then Aaron Hicks, with all these injuries, he's leading off in the second game. And he gets a 3-run double at the end of the game. It was just an absolutely awesome performance during that doubleheader, plus game 1. Absolutely a must-win series, like I said in my last video. Now, going into yesterday's game, there's not too much to talk about here. Look, in a close game like that, why are you trusting Greg Weissert against Carlos Correa when you had a guy in who's good against righties, who's also more experienced against good players? You're bringing in a guy who started off his career with 2 hit-by pitches and 4 walks against Oakland. And you're trusting him to go up against Carlos Correa, who, yes, we all hate Carlos Correa, but he's a good player. He is a good player. So, to trust Greg Weissert in that situation, I really didn't like that. Of course, the mistake of Wandy not catching the ball correctly costed us that inning and ultimately probably costed us the game. We had a couple opportunities at the end. We scored a run off of a wild pitch, and Gary showing his true colors defensively during this series, especially last night's game. And we had a couple opportunities in the 9th, couldn't come through, but what a series this was. We needed to get a pick-me-up after that Tampa series. And now we welcome Tampa back to the Bronx for a 3-game set. And that's our last series of the year with Tampa. This is also a must-win series. Let's lock this fucking division up. We're up 4.5 right now against Tampa. We win this series, we get it back up to 6.5 or 7.5, hopefully. If we could do that, it gets a lot better for us. It looks a lot better. Because looking at our schedule, so we got these 3 against Tampa, then we go to Boston, we go to Milwaukee, we welcome Pittsburgh, we welcome Boston, go to Toronto, home for Baltimore, at Texas for 4 in 3 days. There's a lot of room for wins there. We play Boston, we play Pittsburgh, we play Texas. Those are 3 teams that are under 500. So if we win this series against Tampa, things look good. Now, if the unthinkable happens and we lose this series and or get swept, this becomes a very daunting task for the Yankees to stay consistently on top from here on out. We win this series, we gain a little bit more wiggle room. And that's why we had such a wide, that's why having such a wide gap in July is so important. It's because now we have a chance to sort of maintain a gap. We have the chance to make sure that we are at least 5 games up, to where then it becomes a very daunting task for Tampa. But if we lose the series and it's down to 2.5 games and or 1.5, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Yankees to hold on, knowing how this team, A, at times has had their lineups put out, and B, how inconsistent this offense has been since August. We need this series. And looking at the starters, it all starts with Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas, this is your biggest start of the year. You didn't have any big starts with Oakland. You had a good start last time. Last time was your best start of the year here in New York. Now is your time. This is your biggest start of the year. Step up. Do what you have to do. Let's get this job done. And that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. On my way to 500 subs by October. Looking like a daunting task right now at only being 270. But with your help, we can get there. I need you guys to go talk to your parents, your grandparents, your sisters, your brothers, anyone you know. Get them a YouTube channel, subscribe. Dropping postseason merch in October. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.